In the highest chamber of a medieval tower, a princess awakens, shackled, bruised, disoriented, and very much alone. No guards in sight. Her wrists are chained, but her mind is sharp. She pretends to sleep as 2 guards enter. Still, the moment is tense. One guard wanted to take advantage of the princes, while the other disagreed with the plan. Then, bam! She headbutts one, breaks her own thumb to escape, and fights back with chains and a hidden hairpin-turned weapon. She's not waiting to be rescued. She is the rescue. They thought she was just a simple girl, but she proved she was more than just a princess. Peeking out the window, she sees chaos. Guards locking down the castle, villagers corralled like prisoners. In the distance, voices, Julius and Moira plotting a hostile takeover. And it's all because she refused a forced marriage. She was meant to secure peace. Instead, she became the spark that lit a rebellion. In a memory, we see her walking to the altar. Her father, the king, pushing her forward. Julius waiting, but she stops, turns, walks away. A princess refusing to be traded. That moment fractured the kingdom. Later, she hides in a bathtub as a hulking guard enters. He doesn't see her submerged in the water. It's a tense, breath-holding moment. When he leaves, she gasps for air. Alive, soaked, and ready to fight. Not long after, she faces him in combat. He's a brute, but she's fast and smart. She uses his own helmet and horns to defeat him. One down, many more to go. She remembers her childhood, secret training in the forest with her mentor Lynn. Her mother disapproved. Girls weren't supposed to fight, but Lynn believed in her. She fought not with rage, but with heart. Down below, Julius discovers a dead guard. Moira suspects foul play. They tighten their grip. A tower-wide search begins. She's now a hunted fugitive in her own castle. She stumbles into thieves. No time to negotiate. She takes them down, one by one. Brutal, fast, decisive. She demands answers. She gets none. But her resolve hardens. She scales walls, dodges guards, and sneaks through corridors filled with soldiers more interested in looting than guarding. She finds her old hidden sword. This time she's not running. She's reclaiming her power. Through a hidden crack in the wall, she hears them. Julius plans to marry her publicly, kill the king, and crown himself. A sham ceremony, a staged regicide. After hearing Julius and Moira plot the murder and fake wedding, the princess positions her blade through a hole in the wall, ready to assassinate him. But just before she strikes, a knock interrupts them. She loses her window. She almost kills him then and there. Blade ready, but the moment slips. Outside Princess's room, Kerr, the head of the guards, sends a lazy, out-of-shape soldier to check on the princess. The soldier reaches the top of the tower, peeks through the keyhole, and sees what looks like a sleeping princess and a guard in a chair. He assumes all is well and turns around without investigating further. She sneaks through a hallway. Outside, the king is still holding out hope for peace. He meets with Julius. He urges diplomacy. Julius mocks him, blaming the king's weakness and his daughter's defiance. While sneaking through a tight ledge outside the castle, the princess slips into a narrow space and lands between the legs of a new, massive, armoured warrior. He pins her dress to the floor with a giant sword. A brutal fight erupts. During fight, the princess can't harm him with direct blows. His armour is nearly impenetrable. She studies his movements and finds a weakness, a gap at his armpit. She stabs him there repeatedly, then lights him on fire with a thrown candle. The meeting between Julius and the king ends in failure. Julius remains unshaken, still obsessed with power, still convinced the king's compassion was the true betrayal. The king, calm but powerless, tries once more to reason with him, but Julius only scoffs. Just as he turns to leave, the out-of-shape guard, the one sent to check on the princess, finally arrives, gasping, sweating, and totally unaware of the chaos unfolding elsewhere. He cheerfully reports that the princess is safe and sound in her room. That's when the sky cracks open. From above, the flaming corpse of the armoured giant crashes down like a meteor. Boom, landing just feet from Julius. The heat, the smoke, the horror, the timing is unmistakable. The room falls silent. Julius's smugness evaporates. Furious, he turns to Kerr, his top enforcer, and snarls, "End whatever madness is happening in that tower." But as soon as Julius steps away, Moira makes her move. Kerr, off balance and rattled, tries to assert his authority. He mocks Moira with a snarl, calling her a harlot. He tells her she has no voice in this kingdom, that she's just a distraction, not a decision-maker. She doesn't argue. She lets her whip speak for her. With a single crack, she slices it straight into Kerr's throat. Blood pours. He drops, twitching, silent. Moira doesn't even blink. She steps over his body and assumes his post. Her first command is simple: find the intruder and finish her. Now fully exposed and with the tower crawling with enemies, the princess stays one step ahead. She ducks through halls, dodges patrols, but the net is closing in. Panic bubbles beneath her calm. In a narrow hallway, 3 guards attack. She's slashed, bleeding, but relentless. She cuts through 2 of them, quick, brutal. The third tries to grab her, but she slips past, throwing her necklace behind her. Diamonds scatter across the stone floor. The guards chasing her trip over the jewels, crashing like dominoes. It buys her precious seconds, but it's not enough. A 4th guard charges her full force. She braces herself, grabs a shield, and takes the blow, planting her feet like she's holding up the whole castle. She's wounded badly now, a slash across her waist. Blood soaks her dress, but she doesn't stop. She grabs the nearest guard, spins him into the path of others, and dives through a broken railing, plunging down to a lower level. One unlucky guard tries to follow. He lands hard. His legs snap. The others stare, stunned, forced to take the stairs. And somewhere in the middle of all this madness, the sweaty, clueless guard from earlier is still trudging along, completely unaware he passed the most dangerous person in the entire kingdom. She watches him stumble by, shaking her head. Spotting a flagpole outside the window, she leaps. She grabs the banner and swings side to side along the tower wall like a pendulum, gaining momentum, before crashing through a window into a new chamber. She's safe. For now. But she's bleeding out. Her waist wound is deep. She collapses. Her vision swims. A memory surfaces. Her parents, discussing her future. Her mother begged the king to let her choose her path. He refused. In his eyes, she wasn't a warrior. She was a daughter to be married off for protection. He called her dreams of knighthood delusional. Back then, he gave her a choice. Come back to the altar when the tantrum ends. Now, bleeding and alone, the sting of that memory feels fresh. Suddenly, a noise. She tackles the figure entering the room and pins them to the floor, only to find it's Lynn. They freeze, then breathe. Lynn had climbed the tower to find her, and just like that, they're back together. Finally. As Lynn patches her up, she explains everything. The king's guards were ambushed at night. The family's alive, but being held deep in the castle. There's a way in. A quiet route, through the kitchens. Lynn and the princess sneak into the kitchen on their way to rescue the royal family. But the scene is grim. Guards are cornering a female servant, their intentions disgusting and violent. No time to plan. Lynn bumps into a pan. It clatters loudly. One of the guards turns, confused, just in time to get knocked cold by that very pan. Chaos erupts. The princess dives in, striking hard and fast. Pans produce, even towels become weapons. It's messy, it's real, it's war in a kitchen. And just as the last guard falls, Moira arrives. Her whip flashes out and wraps around the princess's neck. She pulls tight. It's brutal, unrelenting. But Lynn charges in, slicing through the chaos. With a burst of flame, she creates a fiery barrier, forcing Moira to step back and giving the princess a chance to escape. Through a sloping tunnel, the princess pushes on. She bursts into a room filled with drunken guards. No hesitation, she snatches a mug, slams it into one man's face, and knocks the others out cold. That's when she sees them. Her family, the king, the queen, her little sister Violet, all alive. She frees them. Relief floods the room. But just as they try to escape, she's blindsided. A heavy strike knocks her out cold. She awakens, bound, bruised, just in time to see her family recaptured. Lynn, bloodied, is dragged in by Moira. Julius taunts the princess, expecting submission, but instead she laughs bitterly, sarcastically agreeing to marry him. She promises that if he does kill her, she'll haunt him forever. Tension coils tight. Then Julius turns toward Violet. Even now, the king hopes he'll show mercy. He doesn't. The princess and Lynn exchange a look. No words, just a plan. The princess charges forward, distracting the guards. Lynn snatches Violet away and runs. The princess is tackled, overpowered. She's thrown through a high window, plunging again into the river below. In the dark waters, she floats unconscious. Then, memory. Lynn's voice. The blade is not your greatest weapon, it's your heart. She awakens with purpose, cuts through her bindings, swims for the surface. The wedding must be stopped. The princess sneaks back into the castle, soaked, wounded, and unstoppable. Another massive soldier blocks her path. Before he can act, a statue crashes onto him. Violet stands behind it, wide-eyed but fierce. They embrace. Reunited at last with Lynn and Violet, the princess has everything she needs, except time. The three women prepare for the final fight. Armor, blades, purpose. Violet wants to help, and the princess promises, "One day I'll train you, but not today. Today she must survive." The nobles gather. Julius stands ready to crown himself through ceremony and murder. Then, boom. Lynn crashes through the doors, sword drawn, fury unleashed. It's chaos, guards charge, civilians flee. Kai, the royal advisor, sneaks Violet to safety. Julius watches everything spiral. Moira? She slips away, hunting her real target. Moira and the princess face off, one final time. The whip slices through the air. The princess dodges, parries, but loses her sword. Moira smirks. It's over. But then, the princess grabs the whip mid-swing and yanks it. She wraps it around Moira's throat. One pull, one moment. Moira dies the way she tried to kill, strangled by her own weapon. Inside, the king tries to stop Julius. Weak, his blade barely scratches. Julius laughs, then beats him down. Lynn charges in. Their blades clash. She's wounded. Bad. Then the princess arrives. Steel meets steel. Will meets ego. Julius is all brute strength. The princess is patient, precise. He monologues, he boasts, he always does. She listens. Then she strikes. Clean, deadly. Final. Julius's head falls. The war ends. The princess lifts the crown and returns it to her father. The king, humbled and emotional, declares the truth. She is the rightful heir. No more waiting for a son. No more denying her strength. The people cheer. Kai brings Lynn forward. She's alive. Wounded but standing. The princess smiles, overwhelmed but strong. And finally, the chubby, out-of-shape guard from earlier stumbles into view, huffing, sweating, completely unaware that he's hours late to the fight.